In this video, I'm going to show you why you should stop using if statements, why they're bad for you, and how you can replace them. So let's get started. We have a method in C Sharp this time, but if you're not a C Sharp developer, do not worry. This will be applicable to your language as well. It's ubiquitous. So at first glance, this is a simple method, simple function. We take in an occupancy and we transform it into a number of guest counts. Okay. By the way, this is extracted from a real life production system for hotels. And yeah, it's been written by real engineers, real professionals, and it still has problems. So the first thing you'll notice here is we throw if the occupancy is null. Now, I get why they've done that, but this is bad. And once I tell you how to think about your structuring your code, you will immediately start spotting these inaccuracies in other people's code, and you will know why this is just bad. Okay, and I'm going to tell you right away. They do an if check here, and if it's null, they throw an exception, and this disrupts your program's flow. Obviously, the exception disrupts the flow. What is the alternative? The alternative is to build a pipeline. Keep this in mind. A pipeline. This is so important. Like the most important word here is the pipeline. And what is a pipeline? A pipeline is a series of steps through which your code goes. And with each step, you transform the data. That's what a pipeline is. Each step of the pipeline transforms your data in some way. So instead of throwing here, if it's null, why not preserve the pipeline, conform to the pipeline, and I'm going to give you a sneak peek here. If it's null, create a fallback. That is the default. This way, it cannot blow up. You preserve the shape of the pipeline, because each step of the pipeline needs an input and it needs an output. And in this matter, you preserve the shape of the pipeline and nothing can go wrong. You proceed on to the next step. In the first case, everything goes haywire. You don't want this. You want a nice little pipeline where each step depends on the previous steps. Okay? So they've done a good job here. I'll give them that. They create a list, they compute the counts, and this is where they fuck up. Now, this might seem innocuous, safe. You add to a list, and it is. It is. That's what they teach you. But what are you doing here? This is not a step in the pipeline. You're not. You have an input, but you don't have an output. Okay? There's nothing here. There is no return statement. So you've broken the pipeline. Okay? I will show you how we can fix this in a second. And what do they do here? They do an if check. This is the meat and potatoes of what I want to show you. An if check, what is an if check? Basically, it's another disruption in the pipeline. Okay? The if statement cannot have an output. You're disrupting the pipeline. Keep this in mind. Do not disrupt the pipeline at any cost. So they compute the count and they do another mutation here. Two mutations. It's not good. It's not good. Now you've lost the previous state of this variable. And maybe this does not make sense to you, but once you start thinking about pipelines and transforming data at each step, you will know exactly what I mean. And then they return. So how can we get rid of this if statement? Well, we transform it into a pipeline step, okay? And this is how you can do it. We get rid of this guest counts here at the start. We compute everything. Look at this, how nicely it flows. Everything is a step in the pipeline. It's another step in the pipeline. We do not mutate the guest counts. We just create it, and this is where the magic happens. We use where, okay? And now you're gonna ask, we just filter. And now you're going to ask, okay, what's the difference, man? What's the difference between an if and where when in both cases we're filtering? And here's the massive difference. In this case, yeah, it is simple. It is simple. We just compute here and add. But I've seen a lot of gnarly stuff in production systems. And what I'm about to teach you will save you a lot of trouble. So pay attention. Here, this where statement, you're telling the program what to do. Okay, you're telling it what to do. But here, you're telling it how to do it. And that's the difference. You're a programmer, you're dumb. Okay, a programmer is dumb, and a programmer is not always correct in telling the program how to do things. It's better to tell it what to do, and because somebody else has taken care of the how, now you don't care about it. Okay, you get rid of the if statement. You can even do it like this: result equals, and then you return the result. Everything is a pipeline. You see, when you see code like this, you know people are thinking about pipelines. Okay, this flows nicely. It's a pure function. You have an input, you have an output, you have its beauty because it's a pipeline driven development and you cannot go wrong. Whereas here you're mutating the state, okay, of this variable. You have an if, so you don't always go in this branch. It's bad. Here this is just a monstrosity. Don't do that. Don't do that. Stick to the pipeline, conform to the pipeline's shape, and you will be much better off. I hope you got something out of this, and I'll see you in the next one.